way too long.
Way too long. Way too long.
So we did a couple expos in the last month. That's why we were really busy.
Yes.
We did Quinceañera Expos, obviously, and they were pretty awesome. You know, it was a good experience.
Very informative. Very informative. Yeah. I know that we were going with like as far as like our vendor side, we were going to, you know, expose ourselves there. But you kind of like
exposing myself.
We were kind of like, as far as like showing our work, we were also like taking in everybody else's work, which is something that I had seen, and I realized like the bigger picture of an expo. Yeah. Because I had the mentality of expos like whatever, expos que hueva, you know, you're gonna go see the same people and see the same things and la la la, and I'm just like, oh, okay, here we go again. But in reality, it's not just for that to show other people who you are and what you do. It's for you to see like everybody else. It's for clients to come and check it out. Some clients use it like to meet up with their vendors that they're planning on signing contracts, or some just go to see like what's new in the quinceañera world.
They for sure have a lot of benefit for the consumer. Like if you don't know what to do, if you don't know what to look for, that's probably a good place to start. And usually like some of the recommendations that we heard like after doing some interviews with some of the venues and stuff like that, like at least a year out, like when you're planning your quinceañera, at least with a year out, so you can get good vendors, not whatever's left, you know, because a lot of them get booked up. A lot of vendors are booked in advance, so if you do really want some of like the best, you might want to do that.
Exactly.
At least a year out.
Yeah, that is definitely something that we heard the most out of all of those vendor interviews that happened, was like everybody needs months out before you get like your vendor. You need to have more time because there's a process. Like just like it's not just like showing up and okay, you're gonna be the person who's gonna do my cake and make it in like 2 weeks to do it. No, there's a bill, there's like a workup. I have other clients, so I have to make time. There's other things that you have to take into consideration that
like my biggest thing is with the expos. So the why the not, like as a vendor, why not to participate one was my biggest thing was people are kind of, you know, other vendors, I'm talking like in general, like some when you're working like with other photographers or videographers or whatever in all industries, they're a little jealous, they're a little salty, you know, and they're just trying to like because okay, so here's a
story time.
Story time. An experience we had one time with one of these expos. I think it was the last one we did. We went out there to show our brand and show our name, like who we were and stuff like that. And we're trying to support like this mini expo that we went to, right? But in that expo, we were gonna meet a client, like that, like you were saying, right? Like she was gonna go meet us and so she can sign a contract. So a client gets there, we were like in the back, right? So we were kind of the last ones we saw, and she walked in. She met with another photographer there, and it was cool. Like you know, everybody can shop around, right? And the lady like signed the contract. So by the time she got to our little booth over there where we were at, she's like, "Oh, I'm looking for Jerry," and I was like, "Yeah, well, Jerry's right here. Like Jerry's right there." "No, I already signed contract with Jerry." "What do you mean?" I told her, "Jerry's back over there." Like, and she actually signed a contract with this other guy, this other photographer that was there. That his name was Jerry, I guess.
Qué raro.
Yeah. and that's kind of like the thing where you get bummed out. Like you're trying to build, like people are just, you know, they're I don't know what to call them.
Haters.
They'll just backstabbers. Like they'll do anything for a buck, you know. And I think that's kind of like why like a vendor wouldn't like to go to an expo. But in the other hand, that was like 2 years ago. We didn't go one last year. We didn't do expos. This year we're like, you know what? We're gonna do expos, and we went to an expo as a vendor, and we went to 3 of them actually. But we took another approach. Like we're gonna be out there and doing our own thing, and we're gonna just show up and try to be a team player, and try to know other people, what they're doing, what's working for them, what's not working for them, and kind of like. Because at the end of the day, like what the work I do doesn't compare. You can't compare yourself to other people. Mm-hmm. Like whatever you're doing, just do you, and don't compare yourself. It doesn't matter if we're doing the same thing, because at the end of the day, we're not.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. We're both called photographers. It doesn't matter if we're both DJs. It doesn't matter. If you do what you do and you do it good, people are gonna really look for you for that reason. They're gonna notice that like you're doing it good, like you're doing it really good, and so there shouldn't be this rivalry between. It's kind of nasty.
It is, and you see like when you and when you're at an expo, you kind of like see that it's not just in your vendor category, like it literally goes throughout each like category. Everybody has like this. Oh, this is the lady. This is the guy. And it's kind of nasty, like, and I understand why people wouldn't want to go again to like an expo, because like if you're there and you're expo like, or showing your work and giving your prices, and then all of a sudden there's another person in the same category as you and they're underselling, and you're just like you get down about it, and you're like, well, why am I gonna go if somebody else is gonna undercut me or say their name is my name, and what's the point? Yeah.
So in one of these expos, there was a vendor there, a photography vendor, and he was at least 20% of what we charge. Like his prices were so low, like it was just like, why not? Like people would, but people noticed. Like people would notice what type of work we're doing, and they will see what they're doing. Like it's just and like we say, and so before this, somebody told me, they're like, wow, that shouldn't be to avoid problems with people like that. That's why we only have one photographer, because people do that. They'll lower their prices just to like steal a customer. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's happened to me before. But what I learned from that experience is that your prices stay the same. The person's gonna get you because they like you, not because what your price is. If they're just price shopping and they're gonna get you because you're cheap, that's sad. Like, I hate when people say, oh, it's because I got you because you were less than everybody else. So I'm like, okay, you kind of take offense. I was like, so thank you for getting me for cheap, not for good. Because you like my service, not because you like my pictures or my video or whatever. And that's kind of like, it's offensive at the same time, So if you do go to an expo as a vendor and you're there, and just realize that there's people always gonna be trying to undercut you, But they're on the moral of the story is that the people that undercut are only hurting themselves. Sooner or later, they're not gonna be efficient enough to manage their business. They're not gonna be able to pay bills, pay employees. They're not gonna be able to stay alive. Right? Yeah. Because at the same time, you have to understand that you have to up your service, not just quality, but your service as a customer service. To these people. So I think a lot of people go to these expos, or a lot of moms that go out there, they're looking at they want something good for their kids, for their little girls. They don't want the cheapest sometimes, because if you're just gonna get the cheapest, then that's what you can't expect much. But I mean, all this, there we go again, all this money spent. I mean, how much are people are spending right now? 15, 20, 25. I've heard up to 40,000 it's a lot. For a quinceañera. And I'm like, damn, that's a lot of money. Like
but that's another reason why you should give yourself enough time. Like if your daughter, your quinceañera is not like thinking about doing a quinceañera like at 13, 12, whatever, and you don't start, like if you don't have a a bag like with money set aside for that, then you need to give yourself time, because then you get stuck with people like that, like, oh well, I'm at this expo and this is the cheapest dude, I'm just gonna get him, and then you're just gonna be like, okay, yeah, and then at the end you're not gonna like the work, you're gonna wish that you had, you know, pictures like this. which is sad.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's one of those things that I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of money. It's a big. It's not even an investment. Well, a quinceañera is an investment.
Yeah.
Memory investment. Right. It builds core memories.
Yeah.
Like this little girl is always gonna remember her quinceañera. It was magical. It was great. It was, you know, everything she wanted. And I think if like a parent, if you do that, it feels pretty good. Yeah.
For that time that you're planning the quinceañera, from the moment you start and you're doing the dresses and you're thinking together about like what kind of music, what kind of vibe, what kind of theme, like it's this whole like bonding that is throughout the whole process. And once it's done and we've heard it, like moms are like, I don't know what I'm gonna do now, like I'm gonna have all this time. And it's just like, but now you have this stronger bond like with your family, because you built something like this together, and it just makes it even more special. You did mention something that I remembered something in my mind. Clients or moms, parents go to these expos to sometimes, no, I don't know, I'm not gonna say all of them, but sometimes you go to an expo, you have this idea of an expo where you're gonna go get like a deal. They're gonna freaking lower their prices to like, I'm gonna get a steal. I'm gonna get what I want, and it's gonna be like thousands of dollars less. And in reality, like, vendors do not go there to give a huge discount. Like I'm going there to show my work, and yeah, sure, you're gonna get like an additional add-on or something like that, maybe, or maybe not. But it's reality. It's not really for that. I'm not there to cut myself. Yeah.
So that's a vendor problem. Like, a lot of vendors think, well, I'm gonna lower my prices so I can get the client, so I can get something out of the expo. I'm like,
to make it worth it.
To make it worth it. That's the wrong mentality. You're not there. You're not there to sign contracts. You're there to meet people. You're there to expose your work so people can see what you do, and then after the expo is done, they can make a choice, like an educated choice of what they want. What an expo does, it puts everybody you need in a room, so you don't have to go around town.
One day, take one day,
a couple hours, you go meet everything you need to meet, and then I'm ready to go.
Now I know.
Like I know what I need. I know where to find it. I know people to contact. I have numbers. I have this and that. Now I can make an educated guess based on my budget, based on what I want to do, things like that. I think that's one of the biggest things.
Yeah, it's an excellent way of finding out what kind of budget you can create with getting all these prices. And like aparte from that, like for as a vendor, you have to realize that you can also do or be at the expo and do it all wrong. Like you can go and literally waste your time there because you're not paying attention to the people that are coming to your table, or as far as like getting a contact, getting an information, following up. Like you can do an expo wrong. Yeah. And I don't know if
that's one of the things that we did at the beginning, is that we thought expos were just to show up, just to be there and just to meet people and hopefully get a contract. That's kind of what.
And if you didn't get a contract that day, you failed. You failed the expo.
Time, they suck.
Ya no voy a ir.
I don't like them. And I think that was our mistake. But this time, like we did 3 in a row, like 3 weeks. We were just at expos, and it felt like a long time. But it was one of those experiences that we got to meet other people, other vendors. See what they're doing, see what's in, kind of thing. Like what's the, and like we said, like we just do what we do. Like we just we don't compare ourselves to other people. Yeah, and it's fine. Well, if we feel comfortable what we're doing and our customers are satisfied with what we can deliver, that is enough for me. Like that's enough. Like that I shouldn't try to be like somebody else. I shouldn't try to copy somebody else. Now, I have copied ideas from other people and implemented into my work, like my workspace or whatever I do, or my packages and stuff like that. Because I mean, I'm smart, but I'm not that smart, you know. I just can't come up with stuff like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Because that idea, I liked it to incorporate it into our quinceañeras. Like the experience of having like documentary video and trying making these memories, be able to relive those memories over and over and over. I think that was like our turning point, or how we decided to make our brand, to be able to give that to them.
Yeah.
So other than that, I mean, I wish other people would do it. I wish it was more meaningful. Because as a videographer, you're not there just to you're not there just to record, man. Or as a photographer, you're not there just to take pictures. You're there to capture those memories for these people.
Yeah.
And they'll always be grateful. I mean, if you do a good job, they will always recommend you. They will always be like, thank you for all the hard work you did. Sometimes people congratulate you and we haven't even
you haven't even
we haven't even got to the office.
Yeah.
Like but
they just like saw you.
They already know. It's because they already know. They already have the experience. They've seen, like, we've been with them 6+ months, walking within this journey and everything. So they kind of already know what to expect. You know, so that's a great thing when you go to expos.
It's a great tool
to look for. You know, when you're looking for your vendors, make sure they're people that are not just out there just looking for an extra $1, another $1, but they're actually looking in the interest of your party, right? And I think one of the biggest, other than the photography, I would say the venue. Yeah. Okay. So there's a couple of venues that are starting out and things like that, and they'll lowball. Like they'll just put a low price
to look busy.
You know,
to have something to post.
they'll lower their prices. They'll be dirt cheap, but you ain't getting nothing. Like, you ain't getting that service. You ain't getting that experience. And they're just trying to turn $1. You know, they're just trying to make it.
They'll pull that all-inclusive package.
And sometimes it doesn't work out for you. Some people don't want that all-inclusive. Some people want to do a DIY. Some people want to put their input. And I think a lot of, like, in my concern, I was thinking about this, Debbie, the other day. I was like, I wish there was a venue here in Tucson that would say, you know what? We're going to just do quinceañeras. Yeah. Like, we're gonna deck our venue strictly to quinceañeras. It's gonna be fantasy. There's gonna be just quinceañera themed venue. That's it.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
You know, and we're gonna really, really like want that, and I think it would attract a lot more people to that venue if it was themed in a certain way, because we went to a wedding. We don't do weddings, but we went to a wedding and that venue is Western. It's cowboy. It's a barn. It's that cowboy
indoor outdoor feel.
You know? And people that get that venue, it's usually weddings, and that's what they get. And so here in Tucson, there is not a venue that you can say this venue is tailored to quinceañeras. You know, they are focused just on quinceañeras. Because, like I say, I think they're just trying to make money. You know, they're just trying to whatever. We'll do bautizos. We'll do whatever we can, and we'll rent this out as much as we can.
Fill the schedule.
Just fill it up. You know, look busy and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I think you could turn bigger money if you could tailor to a specific clients. And as we saw in these quinceañeras, our last expo that we went, it was in Phoenix, and it was pretty big for us. It was our first experience, and we're like, damn, this thing's an industry, right? This thing is like big. Like this is nothing small. And this is when we saw the bigger picture, and we're like, you know what? That's why we made a choice just to commit to quinceañeras. You know, just commit to quinceañeras, and really, really get really detailed in them. You know, make them magical. Try to produce that over and over.
Be the extra. Do the extra.
Yeah. And like really capture this little girl's day and try to make her quinceañera the best quinceañera she ever had. You know? And make sure we grab everything and have all these ideas out there and put them on paper and make them happen.
I think that's something that I personally took from like these expos that we did outside of, you know, here from where we live, our space. You see like all these other venues and you're like, oh my God, like how magical this decoration, how like crazy these dresses are, amazing. Like, and you don't see that here. And it's kind of like crazy how 2-hour drive is, there's like a whole different world out there.
Yeah.
It literally, and I was just like, and then we came back here and I was just like, oh, all sad. It's so sad. And I'm like, we need to be that. Why isn't that here?
I wish somebody with a venue would like really gear themselves and say, you know what, we're just gonna dedicate ourselves to quinceañeras.
Yeah.
And because in essence, like we said, right now, the decorations in the venues we have here, the ones we've been here, not to talk bad, but I feel like it's the same thing, just different color. It's the same thing, just different color.
Nothing changes.
It doesn't matter if it's a quince or a wedding. It's the same thing. Like it has the same rhythm, or I don't know what you would call it, like the same vibe, or
the same theme, same everything, same tree.
It doesn't feel any different. You know, they're all just the same, and it doesn't really matter. And I think, imagine if we did have a venue that would just like had this castle background, like something that just
a staircase.
A staircase.
My goodness.
Big dress.
Those big doors.
Yeah, some big doors or something, you know.
Somebody else make big doors here.
Yeah, they didn't have to be real. Like, it could be all fake, you know. It doesn't have to, like, really be real. But, because, like I said, I've been to some of the venues over there up in Phoenix. And, dude, they're in a shopping center. And inside, it's magical. It's like there's their staircase, the cake's up top. Like, there's so much things that you could change and do that we're like, why don't they just do it here? Like, why does somebody just say, you know, I'm going to change up my venue and I'm going to make it better. Like, I've been doing this for 20 years or 30 years or whatever, and I'm getting kind of tired, and I want to tailor it to a certain crowd of people, because that's going to also, like, you're going to tailor it to certain, like, financial, like, it's not going to be cheap, you know, so not everybody's going to be able to rent your venue, but if they want it, they'll save for it.
Yeah.
they'll build for it, you know. So I think that's one of the things that can change or can actually happen.
Like all of these things that you learn from an expo, all of these things that you can advance from just from going to an expo. Like, we see all these things, which is just amazing.
Yeah,
it's great.
So, well, thank you so much, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye.